This is Lisa Barris with candidate Bob Berry, who is running for State Senate, District 18. Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. The biggest question on everyone's mind around Cody, Wyoming is, who are you? Who is Bob Berry?
Well, I got here as quick as I could. I was raised in Texas, but the aura of the Yellowstone National Park captured my heart in 1973. So in 1973, I fell madly in love, and after that time spent every minute trying to get here or be here, or cry on the way home. So Yellowstone Park drew me to this place. Actually, a lady named Catherine Buckingham, who is from Cody, drew me to this town. She was an icon of Cody for a very long time, and many people may remember her. But we started staying with her as a result of my stereo card collection. I collect antique photography of the park. And because I had pictures of her husband many years ago, that's how we were introduced to her. We saw homes here that we really enjoyed, so we decided to pick a realtor out of the phone book and get this process moving. The home that was chosen, or chosen for us by God, was the Robin's Nest Bed and Breakfast, which we manage all year round, but primarily from Memorial Day to Labor Day. My formal education primarily is in music. I was going to go to school to become a professional trumpet player. In the process, I decided to go to music history or musicology. So my formal undergraduate and graduate work is in music history. History being the foremost part of that. I have been a member of many organizations in that regard. I have lived in very historic towns, including Cody, and have been very involved with those towns in promoting the history of those places. I'm a member of the Historical Society here in Cody and very active in various aspects of my antique photography collection, which is primarily the history of Yellowstone Park. I got involved in politics as a result of the many aspects of history that I have been associated with. If you don't learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it. The history that we are going through now, we are going to suffer dire consequences from. And so a long time ago, being involved in politics as a junior high school student has brought me to the point of being involved with the Tea Party here in 2009 and seeing the dire need in this country and in this state to have people, real people, that are involved in their politics. This whole notion of the elitist being our rulers is just not my cup of tea. I think that the people, as said in the Constitution, we the people need to be involved in our government. We the people have forgotten what it is to be a republic. So the major emphasis of why I have chosen to be in this race is to try to bring some real cognizant efforts to the government in Cheyenne that believes in republic. And every time the federal government comes calling, we have the right to say no. We don't do that now. So that's basically who I am.
We are 5 weeks away from general election. How do you appeal to a diverse set of constituents and win their vote?
That is a difficult thing to do because people aren't used to hearing the truth. I have been telling the truth for the past 3.5 months. I'm going to continue to do that. The truth will always win out. We have too many people that go to Cheyenne, they go to Washington, D.C., they go to city council, wherever. They tell you one thing and then they do something else. You check their voting record, it's not the way they spoke in the campaign. I cannot do anything but tell you how I feel, what my principles are, and then act on them. There is no other way to do that. So the truth is the only thing that will capture people's hearts. If they will not believe the truth, I cannot reach them. I believe that the people in Park County, and particularly in District 18, know the difference between the truth and campaigning.
How do you get the voters that have lost faith in the election process and have lost hope in our government more involved before November 6th and after that?
The people that I would really like to reach the most, and the people that seem to be the most disassociated with the election process, are those folks that are between 18 and 35 years old, younger people. They don't know, they don't care because they don't know, and they have not been educated to the point that they should have an active role in their government. My biggest emphasis through this whole campaign is that it is about you, not about me. This entire campaign has been about the constituents. 2,023 people voted for us in the last primary election. I believe more of them would have had they been more involved. How do you catch their attention? You catch their attention by bringing up issues that probably their former legislators had never told them about. Not bring up dirt, just bring up the truth. And there are many issues in this campaign that are going to be just that way. Issues like education, Real ID, how much government is involved in your back pocket. So that's how you have to do it. You can't just speak to Democrats and get them, speak to Republicans and get them, speak to independents and get them. You have to have one message for all of them, and that's enough. If it is not enough, then we did the best we could.
Okay, so you've mentioned Real ID earlier, and that Real ID has been passed in Wyoming. Does this act violate our rights? And what would you do to fight it?
Real ID is a result of the Patriot Act. Real ID is an enormous subject, and we can't go into all that right now, but two subjects which are particularly pertinent to what people can understand in Wyoming and in Park County right at this moment. First of all is your driver's license. Your driver's license has an encoded bar on the back of it. If you look on the back, it'll have this little black and white fuzzy thing. On that bar, eventually, will be encoded how many firearms you own, what your religious and political affiliations are, the DNA of your children, your bank accounts. All of that will be encoded onto this bar that, for right now, is used to see if you have a felony or not. The difficulty that you have getting a driver's license right now is part of that. You have to bring 3 forms of identification. That's not to really prove who you are. What that is about gathering information about you that will then be all put in a central location that if somebody has an axe to grind with you or a specific group that you are involved with, they can find out all of that stuff all at one time. The other issue is smart meters. Smart meters are being installed in this county at this time. I have a friend that has one. I have a friend that also has had one in California. And she told me the other day that her electric bill doubled as a result of having a smart meter. Now, what a smart meter does is tell whoever's at the other end of this gathering information part when your microwave goes on, when your computer goes on, when your television goes on. They'll be able to gather all of that information. The other thing it will do is put you on a grid that will put you at risk for a controlled EMT. They will be able to shut your house down at the flick of a switch. Now, how much of all this stuff do you want to control your life? How much of this liberty do you want to lose? And this is just the surface of a lot of these things that are being instituted not only at a national level, but in Cheyenne as well. One person all by themselves probably can't, but one person by themselves can certainly raise the issue and raise awareness. This has not been told to anybody in Park County by anybody. So first of all, one person can raise the issue, in which case more people will tell more people will tell more people, and legislation can be brought to bear in Cheyenne to get smart meters out of Wyoming. Right now, it's a done deal. If you get a new meter, you're suggested to get a smart meter. Now, there are other states that have enacted these bans against smart meters that now they have to take them out. One case is Nevada. So there are things that we can do at a state level against the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act is something that was federally mandated. We don't have to do everything the federal government tells us to do. And just because the federal government says we have to do it does not make it right.
When it comes to children and their education, how would you reshape the way Wyoming deals with the educational system?
I don't know, reshape is definitely the right word. I think change the attitude of where the control lies. The control, it seems to me right now, lies squarely in Cheyenne and in the Education Committee. All control, whether it is under facilities, whether it is about accountability of teachers, or whether it is just the run-of-the-mill things that goes on in the city and in the school board in which education is involved. I believe that parents, teachers, and school boards should be closely involved with the control of what goes on in this community, not Cheyenne. Cheyenne cannot tell everybody to wear plaid, and that's what's happening these days. As a result of the Supreme Court's ruling years ago in the state of Wyoming, that's about what they said. Everybody wears plaid. Now, equality is fine, and it all sounds good. But what that has done has made things like this. In Shoshone, Wyoming, they're going to tear down an entire school system, K through 12, and rebuild it for $49 million. That's for 340 children. Now, am I for the good education of those children? Of course I am. But that's $114,000 per kid just for building a building. It does not count tearing the old building down. It does not count for all the additional things that will happen, because I've been in construction for 25 years. I know what cost overruns are, and they will happen. Those are the types of things that I would do to change the dynamic of what the education system is about. You as a parent need to be involved with your children's education, and you as a parent need to be responsible, and you as a parent need to have the right to see that your local school board has control of the situation and not the Education Committee and the legislature in Cheyenne. The Cheyenne legislature does need to dole out money for this and that, but the way it is now is almost ridiculous.